Good morning students, welcome to eSuvidya. Hope you all are fine and safe. Students, in the previous class we have discussed about the great scientist Jagdish Chandra Bose. We have discussed Jagdish Chandra Bose, a prominent scientist, a great and well-known scientist of the world, proved by his experimentation that both animals and plants share much in common, and he demonstrated the plants are also sensitive like the animals. The plants are also sensitive to heat, cold, light, noise and various other external stimuli or various other external reactions or outside reactions. So through different types of scientific experiments, he demonstrated that plants are also sensitive to all these things like heat, cold, light, noise and various other external stimuli like the animals reacts, or like the animals are sensitive to all this, plants are also sensitive. He also developed a device or made a device known as crescograph to measure what? The growth and sensitiveness in plants. And also he wrote two famous books, Response in the Living and Non-Living in 1902 and The Nervous Mechanism of Plants, which was published in 1926. Okay, so this was about Jagdish Chandra Bose that we have discussed in the previous class. So let's read the paragraph 2 to know more about his biography. He was born on 30 November 1858 at Mymensingh, now in Bangladesh. He got his elementary education from a vernacular school because his father thought that both should learn his own mother tongue, Bengali, before studying a foreign language like English. Bose attended Cambridge after studying physics at Calcutta University. He returned to India in 1884 after completing a BSc degree from Cambridge University. He died in the year 1937. Students, as we have discussed that Jagdish Chandra Bose was born in a Bengali Kayastha family on 30th November 1858 at Mymensingh, then Bengal Presidency, now in Bangladesh. Mymensingh was then in the Bengal Presidency and now it is in Bangladesh. And his father's name was Bhagwan Chandra Bose, who was a leading member of the Brahmo Samaj movement. And his father was working as a deputy magistrate and assistant commissioner. His father was a civil servant, was working as a deputy magistrate and assistant commissioner. So although his father was a civil servant, still Jagdish Chandra Bose got his elementary education in a vernacular school. What do you mean by elementary education? Primary education. And in a vernacular school means a school where mother tongue is used as a medium of instruction, or a school where teaching is being provided in the mother tongue. It's called a vernacular school. So at that time, sending the child to a English school was a matter of respect or dignity. Although his father was a civil servant, although his father was working as a deputy magistrate and assistant commissioner, still he wanted that his son should master in his own mother tongue first. So he sent his child to a vernacular school or to a Bengali medium school where education is provided in the mother tongue, in the Bengali language. So Jagdish Chandra Bose, once he has mentioned that while studying in that vernacular school, his friends were a Muslim boy whose father was an attendant of his father. Okay, so this Muslim boy's father was an attendant of Bhagwan Chandra Bose, and another boy was a fisherman's son. So a son of a Muslim attendant who sat in the right side of Jagdish Chandra Bose. So Jagdish Chandra Bose mentioned that his friend whose father worked as an attendant to his father, so he sat in his right side and a fisherman's son sat in his left side, and they were his playmates. And Jagdish Chandra Bose has mentioned that these two boys share a lot of stories about birds, animals, aquatic animals, etc. Perhaps these stories greatly influenced Jagdish Chandra Bose. He has mentioned once that perhaps these stories greatly influenced me to become attracted towards nature and to study natural science. So here from the vernacular school, so his playmates shared with him about the great things happening in nature. So these interesting things helped Jagdish Chandra Bose to develop a great interest towards nature, to observe the nature very minutely and to judge the happenings in the nature. Later, he went to Calcutta University to study physics. Then he moved to Cambridge University and got a BSc degree from there. So students, Jagdish Chandra Bose in the initial stage, he wanted to go to London and England to prepare for the ICS exam, Indian Civil Service Examination. During that time, Indian Civil Service Examination was conducted in England. So Jagdish Chandra Bose wanted to go there to prepare for Indian Civil Service Examination. But his father wanted that he should pursue his career in different field. And his father was not interested to send his son to prepare for civil service, because his father was a civil servant and he do not want, or he never wanted his son to pursue the same career what he was pursuing. So Jagdish Chandra Bose went to the Cambridge University and completed his BSc degree, and after that he returned back to India in 1884. After returning to India in 1884, he worked as a professor in the Presidency College affiliated to Kolkata University or University of Calcutta. So he worked as a professor in the Presidency College. During that time in the Presidency College, there was a great racial discrimination was there. Racial discrimination means when people of one race are given more importance in comparison to the people of other race. What do you mean by race? Race means discrimination of a people on the basis of the color of their skin is called race. Discrimination of a people on the basis of a color of their skin is called race. And racial discrimination means here discrimination of a people on the basis of their color of the skin is called racial discrimination. Students, already I have told you about racial discrimination and apartheid that was prevalent in the United States of America, and role of Martin Luther King Jr., who played a very important role in the abolition of racial discrimination in the United States of America. So in the Presidency College, which was affiliated to the University of Calcutta, there are maximum professors belong to the Britishers, or maximum professors where the English professors are belong to England. So the native people or the native professors were not treated equally. They were not given equal perks or equal payments. They were not given equal payments. So Jagdish Chandra Bose, although there was a racial discrimination, there was a shortage of fund, but still he continued his research work. And in this field, a lady named Sister Nivedita or Bhagini Nivedita. Students, you must have known about Swami Vivekananda and also about Bhagini Nivedita or Sister Nivedita. So Sister Nivedita played a very important role in guiding Jagdish Chandra Bose, and also he provided financial assistance to Jagdish Chandra Bose to continue his research work. So Sister Nivedita has a great influence on Jagdish Chandra Bose. So students, Jagdish Chandra Bose is a prominent scientist of the world, and his research work on plants describe a lot of things that both plants and animals, both animals and plants share much in common. and Jagdish Chandra Bose, students, died in 1937. So this is about the biography of Jagdish Chandra Bose. Students, one thing I want to mention, that a crater in the moon is named after Jagdish Chandra Bose. As a respect to Jagdish Chandra Bose, a crater in the moon is named after his name. It is named as Jagdish Chandra Bose crater. Okay, and also he was regarded as the first person to work for the science. He was one of the first person to work in the field of science fiction. Bengal science fiction. Okay, fiction means imaginary literature. Okay, imaginary literature. He was the pioneer of Bengal science fiction. He was the pioneer of Bengal science fiction. So students, it is about the biography of Jagdish Chandra Bose. So now let's find out some new words from this portion and try to use these new words into meaningful sentences. First one is elementary. Students, as you know, elementary means primary. Elementary means primary. Elementary, its adjective means primary. Let's use it in a meaningful sentence. She was very shy while she was in elementary school. Okay, students, elementary means primary. She was very shy while she was in elementary school. So students, today we have discussed about the chapter Jagdish Chandra Bose. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you in the next class.